Hey fellow gatherers, this is Richard with the Hunter-Gatherer Society, and we are out today without our faithful companion Dozer, but that's all right because we're going to be on the e-bike today. There's a couple lakes that I've been seeing on the maps, and I've been wanting to figure out how to get to them. So I took the truck out, did some exploring, found the roads in. They're blocked, so the only way in is e-bike or hike. So we're going to take the e-bike, we're going to ride back in and see if we can't find these two lakes and maybe even do a little bit of fishing. So let's go. All right, guys, I discovered a little lake. All right, I didn't really discover it. I discovered it on a map previously, and it's called Horseshoe Lake. And this little lake has sunfish, bass, and rainbow trout in it. It is just gorgeous here. There's actually, up the hill just a hair, there's a little camp set up, and there's enough room right here for a camp as well. Now, the road to this is blocked. So I'm riding the e-bike in, but check this out, guys. I mean, it is gorgeous back here. Absolutely beautiful. And again, there's pumpkin seed sunfish, largemouth bass, and rainbow trout in this little lake. So, and it's very tiny, so it's selective gear rules, so barbless hooks, no bait, mostly it's designed for fly fishing, really. So, beautiful little lake. So I've got the walkie out today, geared up, even using the rod holder today. So we're probably 3 miles back in. I explored a couple logging trails, didn't find anything else, and stumbled across this. Now there's another little lake back here as well. I believe it's Ludlow Lake, and I'll probably head out here pretty soon and try to find that as well. So today is really exploratory. Just I wanted to find these, see how far back they are, see what kind of what kind of access they had. But for this, man, for a hammock camp, whether you bike in or hike in, this would be fantastic. So I'll probably be back to this spot with a camp set up. So looks good. So I'm gonna keep exploring, see if I can find that other lake. Looks like the road less traveled. You guys can probably hear the fishing pole rattling in the back. I think I see the other lake, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I see the other lake. How do we get to it? There it is. burnt recently. down. Sweet. All right, guys, so I believe this is Ludlow Lake. As you can see, somebody had a campfire here way too recently and darn near lost the woods. God, man, I tell you, it's just too dry for that. You got to be so careful, and you're in a tight space like this. Campfires, man, it could tear down if you don't put it out all the way, if you're not careful. It can be so destructive, especially this time of year. All right, I'm gonna check out this lake. All right, this is awesome. So this is, like I said, this is Ludlow Lake, Jefferson County. This is fantastic. Now the road again is closed. This is the second of 2 lakes that are accessible back here through the trails, or the logging roads, really. Another absolutely beautiful lake. Man, I'm so excited to find this. So again, this is Ludlow Lake. Now this one has a little different fish species. It's brown bullhead, largemouth bass, and rainbow trout. Now this one is not selective gear rules. So this one is actually, you can use 2-pole fishing. I did not bring 2 poles today. I did bring one, however, and I do have some trout gear. I'm in a shady spot along the shore. I'm thinking I'm gonna try fishing. Wouldn't be too bad to bring home supper. But you can see, gorgeous, gorgeous lake. All right, I'm gonna go get the gear. Well, it's not exactly prime time for fishing. Hot afternoon. It's probably dang near 80 degrees today. If it wasn't for this shady spot, I wouldn't be doing this. But, you know, as long as we're here, we might as well try. Seems like it'd be silly not to at least try. There we go. See if there's anybody out there. There we go. Nice cast. Let's see if anyone's home. There we go. Can't hurt, right? Hey. Behave yourself now. There we go. I love that, having the fishing rods on the walkie. You know, obviously for carrying them out here, it's fantastic. Now this is a whole pole, single pole, so it can't split. Now my other rods, I do have some that'll split. If you can split them and then tie them together with something, it makes it traveling a lot better. Now these logging roads, no problem at all. But if you were going back through some thick brush, you can see, I mean, that's, right now it's probably 10 feet in the air. So that just wouldn't work in a tight area. And so here it works because of the logging roads. So if you're gonna do this, you wanna have a rod that breaks in half, strap it together, set it in your rod holder. That way it's only gonna be, you know, really about as tall as you. So, but for today, this works fantastic. Now I've just got a sinker on and a small hook, and I'm just using some just artificial trout bait, you know, some nuggets. And again, my expectations are very low. It's super hot, super sunny. Not exactly what you would call prime time for fishing. But, you know, it never hurts to try. And not a bad way to spend the day. No action yet, but again, pretty alright spot to spend an afternoon. I'll have to return here when in the mornings, a little better fishing time. But who knows? Well, it seems like we should, while we're waiting for the fish to decide if they're going to bite or not, let's check out what's here to eat. Look at here. Broadleaf plantain all along here. That's pretty awesome. There's just a ton of that. And of course, got some berries. Salmon berries. They're not ripe yet, and they haven't even formed their berries yet. Oh, I guess they're starting to form the berries. Salal berries. Those are pretty awesome once they're ripe, but you got to catch them right when they're ripe. And then I did see, oh yeah, here we go. That's the native blackberry. So that's a smaller blackberry. Grows in more of a ground vine, but they are much sweeter than the big ones. There's another salmon berry. Little nibble while we wait for the fish to bite. Well, that's why you didn't take it all the way. You got the bait. Well, there's something out there. Let's see if we can get him to bite again. I don't feel like it's very deep out there. Seems pretty dang shallow, but something bit on it and took the bait, so who knows? There's largemouth in here, so possibly a small largemouth might grab that bait. And I don't know if you can hear the birds. So what's really awesome about this spot right now is it's a super sunny day, very hot for here. You know, it's probably, if not 80, pretty dang close to it. And this whole landing here is shaded, so it's a perfect spot to sit, just hang out in the afternoon. And we're way away from any roads, and there's, again, the only way in here is by e-bike or foot traffic. So there's, you know, I saw a couple guys that parked their Harleys in, were, I don't know what they were doing, stretching their legs maybe, probably using the restroom, I suppose. But anyway, that was it. I've seen a couple trucks down here. Again, the evidence suggests there are people that come down here, but I don't see vehicles here very often. And so the number of people here is going to be extremely limited. I love finding places like this. And, you know, what I usually do is I look on, you know, Google Maps, and I'm looking for lakes in my area. I'm looking for small lakes, you know, not the big popular lakes, you know, boat access. I'm looking for really small lakes. And then if you know, match that to the DNR website, whatever the DNR site is for your state, you know, here it's fishwashington, I think, .gov, and Minnesota was DNR. They'll usually have reports on the lakes. Sometimes they don't tell you if there's fish in there, depending on your state, but a lot of times they do. And if they're stocked, for sure, this lake is, my guess would be, well, I'm sure it is, it's stocked with rainbow trout. The bass and the bullhead are probably native to it, but who knows, maybe they're stocked too, because it's a very, very tiny lake. But that's the type of stuff I'm looking for. I want to be able to hike into it or bike into it. The problem is it's got to have some kind of access. So these two lakes that I explored today, the gate to them is supposed to be open. The logging company owns the land, but they've closed it off. They've cited dumping and drugs and, you know, well, we saw the campfire, people burning it as the reason. you can't hardly blame them, because the lake across the street, which is called Sandy Shores, that is closed to the public now because of all those same reasons. And it's unfortunate, but when you open up these remote areas to people and allow driving to them, unfortunately people throw garbage, they start fires, they leave glass. It gets really bad. It's a sad, unfortunate thing. However, if the place is hike in and bike in, the people that do that tend to take very good care of those areas. And so I love finding places like that. If you can pack in with a rod or e-bike in, you need very little gear. This isn't about catching fish, although it would be kind of cool, and I'll definitely come back with that intent at some point. I'll bring 2 rods back in here and, either be here in the morning or in the evening when the fishing tends to be a little bit better. But this is really just about getting out and enjoying nature. Again, the birds right here are crazy. It's awesome. The view is wonderful. There's a nice breeze coming off the water, so on a hot day, it's just a nice, cool place to be. And I love it. So, again, a fish at this point, that would be a bonus. I take one, but it would be a bonus. So, use Google Maps, look for a small lake. If you zoom in, if it has a name, it'll show you the name on Google Maps. And then go to, Google, type in the name of that lake, fishing. So I typed in Ludlow Lake Fishing, Jefferson County. That brought up the page on the DNR website that told me the kind of fish it had, what type of access. Now, it's not always completely accurate. This one said that the gate is open throughout the fishing season. That is false. Apparently there was an option for the logging companies to close it if there was damage being done or something like that. So I found the same problem in Alaska. A lot of land's owned by the logging companies, and they're supposed to provide access to it. However, they've gated it up, and in Alaska, a lot of those roads you had to have a permit to go in, if you could go in. And so, it's supposed to be a shared thing with the state and the logging companies. The state allows them to log, and they allow public access to it. It doesn't always go that way, or gets fairly limited. For me, that works out really well, because again, I can sit back here probably all day and not have anybody else come out here. So that is fantastic. And it's not that far. The first lake was about about 3 miles in. This lake, I don't think this was more than a mile and a half in. It was super easy to access. And but the other one was about 3, and that one had the camp on it. So that'd be a nice hike in. I might come back with the e-bike and bring my hammock camp and set up there for a night. I worry about leaving the truck, but I might have to take a chance at it. So I'm gonna go back to enjoying this day. Something tapped at it. Whatever they are, they must be little, because they're just giving a little tap, tap, tap. Man, fantastic. That was awesome. So it wasn't a real long trip. We only probably did, 3 miles back in approximately, then a mile back, rode around a little bit. So it's probably 7 or 8 miles maybe is all that it was. But it's awesome on the e-bike. I was able to bring the gear back in, do a little fishing. Found the 2 lakes I wanted to find. I'm definitely going back there for a hammock camp. So, hey, I appreciate you coming along, and hopefully next time I see you guys, we're out doing something wild.